Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment, where we love pop culture. Today, it's time for some more comic book reviews as I continue on with my reviews of DC Comics Future State Series, week number 5. Now, once again, we've got 6 releases, but in this video, it's going to be part 1, and I'm going to be covering these 3 issues with Wonder Woman, The Flash, and we're going to kick it all off with Harley Quinn, issue number 2. When issue number 1 concluded, Harley Quinn was told it was time for her to go after the main course and that her next target would be the Black Mask. Now, as issue number 2 opens, Senator Hansen is going to be enjoying a main course of his own as he celebrates the capture of masks such as Professor Pyg. That is until he starts getting all choked up from a little secret ingredient that the Black Mask added to his dinner. As Harley and Jonathan Crane check out the crime scene, Harley suggests to Jonathan that even though he's all anti-mask now, it will be the ticket he will have to use to get to the Black Mask. Having her finger on the pulse of what goes down in Gotham, Harley suggests that the Black Mask will most likely be hanging out at a manufacturing building on the west side of town. But when Crane's enforcers go in, they are met with a surprise that will end up enraging Crane as he believes Harley used this as a trap. Now, Black Mask is at the warehouse, just not in a physical form, as he was many steps ahead of this ambush. And before fading out, the Black Mask says that this city once belonged to him and no one will get in his way of taking it back. Now, later that day, after knocking down a couple of refreshments, Jonathan Crane is fed up with not obtaining the results he sought out after. And that's when it's time for him to don his mask and once again end this his way. After Harley uses herself as bait to bring out the Black Mask, that's when it's time for the Scarecrow to unleash his terror upon him. But the Black Mask will not go down without a fight. And as the Scarecrow is now down and injured, it will be Harley who will step up to the plate, swing for the fences, and then for good measure, borrow the Scarecrow's mask, leaving the Black Mask to go on quite the unique trip. Now, when Harley used the Scarecrow's mask, it just didn't lead to the capture of Black Mask, but left her showing her true colors to Jonathan Crane, ruining everything he's worked for. And as Harley walks off now as a free woman, she tosses the mask to the ground and says, "I never did like masks." Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give Harley Quinn issue number 2 a 9 out of 10. I really loved issue number 1, and issue number 2 was even better. The story here by Stephanie Phillips is just one exciting, fun ride with Harley Quinn from beginning to end. And complementing the fantastic story was the art by Simone DeMeo and Tony Infante, and the colors by Tamara Bonvillain that complement this story perfectly. Now, next up, we have The Flash, issue number 2. Now, The Flash issue number 1 was one of my favorite issues so far in the Future State series, and when that issue ended, we knew that Barry Allen was going to have an uphill battle with his battle against Wally West. And with his Speed Force not being an option for battle, Barry has been in the lab, concocting up weapons influenced from some of his most infamous arch enemies. Now, this is not going to be one of those issues where it drags out to get to the battle, as the fight between Barry and Wally will go down almost immediately. This is one of those issues that when I finished reading it, I just went back and flipped through the pages for a second time because it's so well done in the art department and so much goes on during this battle. I don't think I could soak most of it in a single read. And even when I thought Wally was down for the count, he has more tricks up his sleeve than a silly rabbit, which will allow the battle of the Flashes to continue on. But it will be after Wally feels the icy cold wrath of a modified Captain Cold ice gun that will drop Wally down, and that's when Famine is released from Wally's body and will now be in the flesh. Barry will come to the realization that Famine's favorite food is hope, and that he might just have found himself an all-you-can-eat buffet as he once again merges back with Wally and is able to use the Speed Force to push Barry Allen just a moment outside of time. And as Barry stares down, looking at his flash ring, he begins to slowly fade away. But there still might be a chance for Barry as Teen Titan Psybeast relays a message back to Starfire that the ring is loaded with data and that he believes that Barry has given them a fighting chance now for a better tomorrow. Now the art by Brandon Peterson and Will Conrad and colors by Mike Atiyah are absolutely outstanding, definitely a 10 out of 10. As far as the story goes, I thought it was really good off the top, but then got bogged down towards the end. And then when it did come to the conclusion for the Flash Future State comic, the story will continue on in Teen Titans issue 2 being released on February 9th. So essentially, if you want to see how it all plays out, you have to go and pick up Teen Titans issue number 2. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't find Teen Titans issue number 1 that exciting, so it is a bummer that you have to go pick up another series to see how the story all unfolds. Now on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give The Flash issue number 2 a 7.5 out of 10. It's a good comic that has beautiful artwork. Just after how much I really enjoyed issue number 1, I just felt like I really wanted something more from this conclusion. And wrapping up part 1 of week 5 of my comic book reviews of Future State will be Wonder Woman issue number 2. Issue number 2 picks up just as issue 1 left off, with Yara Flor down in Underworld looking down the choppers of a 3-headed demon dog. But Yara will have no time for a game of tug-of-war with these dogs, but she'll borrow the captain of the boat's hand and decide to play fetch with the pooches instead. Now, while Kaipora assisted Yara this far, it will be a solo trip from here on out as she will try to rescue one of her sisters. Now, after causing a bit of a ruckus in the world down yonder, Yara will finally come face to face with Lord Hades, and Yara doesn't beat around the bush as to why she's there, and that's to rescue Potira. Now, Lord Hades isn't too fond of demands, but it will be his wife that will reason with him to allow her the chance to find her fallen sister. Lord Hades will agree to it, but Yara will have to do her best Jack Bauer impersonation as she will be up against the clock. Now, Yara will have to use many skills to get past the obstacles that are in her way. And even with many tricks up his sleeve, Yara is able to rescue Potira just before the sands of time was about to run out, which will infuriate Lord Hades. And as the caverns begin to crumble, Yara and Potira will try and make a mad dash to safety, but the roof collapses all too fast, leaving Potira in quite the predicament. Yara is insistent that she will not leave her fallen sister behind, but then Yara is quickly pulled out by a squad of her sisters that will not let her perish, as there's still many more battles to be won. And while at first Yara believes she has failed, the deeper meaning here is that Wonder Woman is a hero, not because she is perfect, but because she strives to overcome those imperfections. Now on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give Wonder Woman issue number 2 a 9 out of 10. Now, while I did enjoy issue number 1 and our introduction to Yara Flor, I loved her even more here in issue number 2. She's strong, she's caring, she has faults, but at the same time, she has an attitude that's just a lot of fun. And even though this story has come to its conclusion, it's only the beginning, I believe, for awesome adventures with this new Wonder Woman. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap up week number 5, part 1 of my DC Comics Future State reviews. Now out of these 3 issues with Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, and The Flash, what issues did you read and which ones were your favorite? Comment down below. And guys, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe here to the channel because I am working on week 5 part 2, and we do have some fun stuff as well as, of course, some questionable stuff, and I'll be breaking down these other 3 issues coming real soon here to Toned In Entertainment. Alright guys, if you like videos like this and all things pop culture, make sure you subscribe here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.